So let's start making our fried plantains. So I have here a ripe plantain, and when I bought this it was green, and you might have seen these in the store and probably didn't know what to do with them or just kind of walked by them. They're with the bananas in that area over there with those are. But we're going to take this today and we're going to cut it up and we're going to fry it. So when you get these, if you don't get them like this or even blacker on the skin, you have to wait for them to get to this consistency. If you get them green, that's another video, and I can definitely show you what to do with them once they're green, what you can do with them. So to get started on this today, I'm going to take it and I'm going to cut the ends of it off. Just cut the tips of them off. And then I'm going to take it and I'm going to run the knife down the back of it. This is going to be really easy to peel. If these were a lot greener or wasn't quite this ripe, I'd have to put the knife under it to peel it. But you can just grab it with your fingers and you can peel back the skin on this plantain. All right, so now we've got our plantain, and there's two different ways that I know that you can fry them. I'm going to cut it in half, and I'll show you both ways that we're going to cut it. So you can cut them at a diagonal. So we'll take the plantain and just kind of cut them at a diagonal to the thickness that you want. And I'm going to cut these about 1/2 inch. Now you can definitely cut them in this consistency and fry them this way. But the way I like them, I'll eat them that way too, but the way I like them is I take them and I cut them, and I'll take the side of the plantain and just kind of run the knife down it, and I'm going to make long strips, and these are about 1/4 inch wide. So this is how I'll cut mine, and I'll continue to cut this across. And there we go. We've got our plantains cut up, and now I'll take you to the stove and we'll show you how to fry these. But before we do that, I've got a little bit of salt here, and I'm just going to take them and I'm just going to kind of sprinkle them a little bit with some salt and let them sit there while I get my skillet and my oil ready to fry my plantains. All right, I've got my carbon steel skillet here. I'm just going to add some neutral oil to the bottom of the pan, and to give that a good coating, make sure we get it on all the surfaces on that covered. You can definitely use olive oil on this if you'd like, but I just like just the neutral oil, and it's fine. So just make sure that that's all covered and we got a good coating on it, and we'll let that heat up. What we don't want to do is we don't want to put the plantains in there right now, because all they'll do is soak up the oil. You want to make sure that the oil's hot, and I've got a small piece of one here that I can put in there to give it a test before we put the rest of them in there, to make sure that the oil's hot enough so we can make sure they've got a good fry to them. All right, I'm going to take one of these small pieces of this plantain, and we're going to put it in the skillet to see if the oil's hot enough. I'll give it just a few more seconds for that to heat up. It looks like it's bubbling pretty good, but I definitely don't want the rest of them to be soaking up any oil in that, so I'm going to wait just a second longer. All right, so that is heating up pretty good right there now. So I'm going to take the rest of my plantains and I'm going to put them into the skillet. All right, all my plantains are in the skillet now. We just want to let those cook on one side till they get a nice brown to them. And then we will flip them over and do the same to the other side. So you can kind of test it a little bit to see if they've got, see that one there is doing pretty good. So as I was describing earlier, the longer you let the plantain ripen, the darker the skin gets on it, the sweeter the plantain will be. So these are probably going to be pretty sweet compared to when they started turning from green to yellow, before any of the black striations on the skin showed up. So definitely as these get more ripe, they get sweeter. So we'll just continue to let these fry, and we'll show you what they look like when I get ready to flip them over. All right, we'll let those get to brown on the other side, and those will be done. Here we want to take a check on it. I think this first one that I put in there is probably going to be, it's not as thick as the other ones. Some of these thicker ones, you might have to let them cook a little bit longer. The thinner, long planks like that won't take as long to cook. And just keep a watch on the temperature of the heat to make sure that they don't cook too fast, because you definitely want them to get consistently brown, and you don't want them to get too dark too quick. So I've got my flame now about on a medium low. And I'm going to give these one last flip over to the other side. All right, so some of those are looking good. I'm going to take those up. All right, I am back, and my plantains, I've got them fried. As you can see here, they've got a nice color to them. And that happened pretty quickly. So just a couple of minutes to have these fried up. And let's give this a taste test. Let's try this little one here. Those are really good. They're sweet, they're tasty, they've got a nice consistency to them, and couldn't ask for more. So you might want to, put a little bit of seasoning salt on the top of them if you like that. I put a little bit of salt on them before I cooked them, so I don't think these need any more. But definitely salt and season to taste once you get it to the table, and give these a try. If you've never cooked a plantain, or you've gone by them in the supermarket and you wonder what to do with them, this is a simple, easy way to do it, and it makes a great side dish to any meal. Hope you've enjoyed this recipe, and if you like this one, try one of these other ones. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye-bye now.